To talk more as we take a deeper dive into this, Republican strategist Loretta Lepore and immigration attorney Marshall Cohen. Thanks so much both for joining us. All right, so the big question, of course, is does the president have the authority to do what he's going to do, which is to do this without Congress's approval? Loretta, I'll start with you. Republicans have been saying absolutely not.
Absolutely. You know, he's usurping the authority of the Congress. The Congress makes the laws, the Congress sets policy, and he is clearly usurping their authority.
Okay, but is this legal or not? Is it constitutional or not?
Well, I would say the Constitution is pretty clear about the role of the executive branch and the role of the legislative branch. The executive branch carries out the laws. It doesn't make the laws. And tonight he's crossing that boundary by trying to make law.
Marshall?
Well, he's not making law, and this is just an extension of an executive action that he's already taken.
What do you mean he's not making law? Because that's how everybody sees it, that he is changing the immigration policy in this country with his executive action tonight.
Well, he's ordering priorities. The executive branch executes the law, and just like the Attorney General may decide to prosecute some cases rather than others.
And has this not been done before by previous presidents, both Democrat and Republican?
Every president since 1956 has done this, and we already have a program in place, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. So, you know, no one said anything when the executive branch did this a year and a half ago, and this is really just an extension of that program.
This is a much grander scale than has been done by previous presidents. And we're talking about 5 million people in America.
And
we're sending clear signals. Exactly.
Why now? Why now?
After 6 years.
Why not wait until the new Congress is sworn in? Marshall?
Well, I think because we've been waiting, and the Senate passed a bill, the House refused to take it up. And it's just time, and there are a lot of people suffering because they don't have work authorization, they don't have any status here, and I guess it's time.
Republicans are threatening war, pretty much, if the president does this. There, you know, has been talk of a lawsuit, of a government shutdown. Loretta, I have to ask you, do you think either of those things will truly happen? And if so, what would be the political fallout?
Well, I think there'll be a lot of rhetoric about that, and I think that there are people clearly in Congress that are going to advocate for that avenue. I don't think that that's a positive route for Republicans to go. I think they do have to address immigration reform, or there will be calamity for them down the road. This is a real issue facing America, immigration reform. We have to fix the system. It is broken. And there are people, to Marshall's point, that have broken families that need to be reunited, but they need to be here legally. And the legal process needs to be fixed.
The problem is, and many will say on the Republican side, on the Democrat side, that, you know, what is the Republicans' alternative? What are they offering as a solution to the immigration crisis?
Well, I think we saw some folks like Marco Rubio in the Senate was a bipartisan player in the legislation that was passed, the bill that was passed in the U.S. Senate. So they did come to the table. Right, the House did not take it up. And there's culpability on both sides, clearly. Republicans did not address it to the extent that they should have. But there are areas within this bill that can be broken out and can be addressed one by one. Take, for example, the technology workers.
But can they get it done?
I think that they can. I think the president tonight is setting a bad precedent for getting things done. And not even a month ago, just a couple of weeks ago, the American people sent a clear message. We want Washington working. We want our elected officials working together. And the president is working totally against that, despite the fact that he says, I heard you.
All right.
He didn't hear very clearly.
All right. I wish we could talk more about it, but appreciate the time you've given us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Marshall, Loretta, thanks so much. Well, as you just heard, Steve